Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Turn the Page podcast. I am your host, Paige, and yes, I am still alive and well. I'm very much aware that I kind of fell off the face of the earth and stopped randomly just stopped recording podcast episodes, stopped posting on social media, and it is all with good reason. At least to me, it's with good reason because this summer, I feel like I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about my life. I've really started to take an inventory of the things that I value, the things that I desire, the things that I want to curate and create, but also the ways in which that I want to stop participating in life in these old patterns. And it's hard and it's confusing and it feels like so much is falling away. And there's so much of it that in the beginning I didn't understand. Like I had a really hard time understanding why I didn't want to sit down and record. And I had a really hard time trying to understand why all of a sudden social media, when things were going so well, like felt so sticky and uncomfortable. And one of the biggest lessons that I've learned over the last few months is just that I no longer have anything to prove. And that is like one of the biggest life lessons for me. Shows up in my astrology chart. It shows up in all my patterns. It shows up in my relationships. But as I have really observed the way that this wound has shown up in my life, this idea that I have to prove that I'm worthy, that I have to prove that I'm different, that I have to prove that I have all of this knowledge and all of this wisdom. And it's validated by likes, comments, followers, people resonating with it, whatever it is. It doesn't mean that this platform and the ways in which that I've utilized it haven't been of service to other people or haven't been of service to me. It just means that there was this underlying subconscious belief still kind of sitting in the driver's seat. And this summer, as I felt unmotivated to record, as I felt like, okay, I don't even know what to talk about, I don't even know if it's worth it, all of those things, I really came to this understanding that like, hey, I think you were doing some of this because you felt like you needed to prove that you had something to say, that you needed to prove that you were relevant, that you needed to prove that all of these things and these choices and these messy situations that have taken place in your life, all of these mistakes, all of these, I don't even like to use the word mistakes because it's like all of these things that you've allowed other people to judge about your life, you've been trying to prove that they were for a reason. And in the end of the day, it's like nobody's fucking business. Like it's nobody's fucking business. And I really recognized how I don't want people to have that much access to me. I don't want people to have that much access to my internal world all of the time. It worked for a season and beautiful things have come from that. This podcast, my writing, whatever it is, I don't regret it. It was just like another stepping stone along the way. But now I feel like I'm in this place of purpose that doesn't require me to pursue anything. Like I don't have to constantly be in pursuit of this next big thing or trying to, receive validation from the external world or to do it in a way that like puts my heart and soul out into the world, into social media that like makes me so susceptible to other people's reactions of it and to it. And I want to make my life more potent while I live it with intention, with the conversations I have, with the energy in which I show up into a room. And I don't want to exhaust myself by doing so many different things and by allowing it to, I don't know, leak into so many different avenues. And, as I've like navigated the summer and I've recognized my role and I've recognized the ways in which I want to show up in my life with my children, with my healing and my learning and integrating those things into my life instead of constantly looking at myself as this problem that I need to fix, but like really owning who I am, owning the decisions that I've made, realizing that I'm not going to be for everybody and that's okay, but it's also not my job and responsibility to feel like that I need to fix everybody. That like I need to be the one that jumps in and gives them the perfect advice or says all of the right things. Like, can I do that for people in my life that I love? Yeah. Can I do that for people in this social media space? Yeah, I can. But like, if I'm spreading myself so thin, like, what do I have left for myself? What do I have left for my relationships, for my kids, for my business? That like actually pays for the roof over my head. And so it's been interesting. It's been interesting and it's been weird and it's been hard. And, social media has been hard. It's like every single time I would try to create content, like sometimes, yeah, it would feel really effortless, but I would still be giving so much of myself and feel like I was getting so little in return. And it's not even necessarily about likes and comments and follows or whatever, but it's just like about its ability to be able to be of service in such an oversaturated place that is hard. It's hard and it's difficult and it's kind of weird to understand, but it's just also just like not something that like I find myself valuing at this moment. Like I value these like intentional conversations that I have. I value the people who show up for myself and my kids in my day-to-day life. I value the people that reach out and I'm like, "Hey, I'm thinking of you. Like, let's have a FaceTime. Let's schedule coffee. Um, let's like be in each other's orbit and be in each other's energy instead of just like consuming the content that we're creating for this social media space and for the masses." Like I want to be in the nitty gritty with people. Like I want to be in it and, like support them and be of service to them while we're in that space. And I want to like, I don't know, really be intentional about it. And it's crazy. It's crazy. It feels like pieces are falling away, but then other pieces are like really falling together. And I don't really know what it all means, but like it's also like I don't necessarily have to. And I don't always have to be the person that's like making sense of all of it. Um yeah, I just want to be present in my life. And this has been so fun and it's been such an experience. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm never going to like pop on here. I'm going to keep my YouTube channel live. I don't know if my episodes will continue to be accessible on Spotify or Apple Podcast, to be honest, because I have to pay for those things. And I know that they'll at least be active until next July. After that, I don't know. But it doesn't mean that I won't have things to say. It doesn't mean that I won't continue to share in moments. But just like today, I've been contemplating making this episode for a while. And very randomly, all of a sudden, I was just like, I think today's the day. Like, I'm going to sit down and record this. I'm going to sit down and kind of share where I am and what my thoughts are and how I'm feeling, but like not put too much pressure on myself. And like I said, life is in a very strange season. My oldest just started high school. My youngest just started first grade. And there's been so much change in our community. There's been so much upheaval. I feel like I've had like friendships that have shifted. And, I'm really starting to learn who my people are and like what that really means to me and the things that I value in the relationships in my life. And I'm learning a lot about what I want my future to look like, what I want to put my energy towards. And the books that I desire to write. Like that's the thing that I always come back to. It's like I deeply desire to be an author. I love creating characters. I love reading books. I love slow mornings. And I don't have to like fill every single day with all the stuff, you know? And creating content always really pulled me out of that. It got me lost in these rabbit holes on social media and then constantly comparing myself and getting on this hamster wheel of negative thought. And I have so many conversations with my teenager about this. And it's just like, God, Paige, like, why aren't you taking the advice that you're giving her? Why are you putting so much weight behind this thing, this tool that just gives so many people access to you, but then yet like allows you to absorb so much and consume so much that like doesn't always feel good. Doesn't always feel good. And it feels scary. It feels scary to let things go. It feels scary to like not exist in the world in the ways in which we've become conditioned over these last handful of years, specifically in the online space. And, you know, we all joke and desire a little bit to go off the grid, but it's like when you're actually stepping away and like, hey, like I think I'm going to, like what's left? What's left? It's like you you don't know. You don't know. And that's something that's really scary for me. Um, what if people forget? Like, what if people forget about me? Like, that's something that I've always worried about. Like in friendships, it's like I've always been the one that's like reaching out, like, hey, let's grab coffee. Hey, how are you? Hey, let's do this. Hey, let's have a play date with the kids, whatever. And it's like I've noticed myself like doing that less and less this summer. And that's scary because then it's like, what if you don't ever hear from them? You know, what if you weren't as valuable to them in their life as you thought you were? And that can make you feel really insecure and really scared because then it's like, what if eventually then you're left alone and nobody's calling? That's not true. And that's not going to happen. Usually that's just like the worst case scenario that filters through our hypervigilant brains. But it's something that I've been working through. It's like, no, you are valuable and you are enough. And if there's people in this world that can't see that, then that's okay. Maybe they're just not your people, or maybe they're just in a different season, or maybe life itself is taking you on to different directories for a reason. I'm learning not to take things so personally. I'm learning to live in my power. I'm learning to focus on the things that are important to me and the conversations that I want to have. But again, it doesn't have to necessarily be shared with the world. Who knew? Who knew? Um, so yeah, I'm still here, just in the background. I'm cheering you on. I'm sending you love. I'm hoping that you find your way to navigate this world and all of the changes and the fact that like time is moving so much faster and it's going so rapidly and we don't get it back, you know? We don't get it back. And I've lost so many people in my life that I loved so deeply and so dearly. And I've watched their kids have to grow up without them here actively, physically on earth. And I've watched the years go by and I've seen the ways in which that ripple effect has changed the trajectory of so many people's lives. And it's just like, we don't get it back. We don't get it back. And this time is precious. Our lives are precious. And it's time that we pay attention to it. You know, it's time that we pay attention to it. It's not until we stop and we choose to that it will actively follow. Like it will actively follow our intention and our attention. And so that's what I think I'm doing. I'm really trying to like concentrate my energy so that it can be more powerful in things that are really valuable and really important in my life. And that is my relationship with God and how that shows up through me, my life, my existence, and the love that I share and the light that I share with the world. It shows up in my children. It shows up in my relationships with my friends and my family and the people that like genuinely choose to see me and show up for me. And it shows up in my work, and it shows up in my words that I write, and it shows up in my dog, in my home, and the ways in which that I choose to show up for myself. So, yeah, this has been a great experience. And like I said, it doesn't mean that I'm disappearing forever. Um, I'm just going to kind of archive all of this for the time being. And I don't know. I think the stress of the external world existing in the palm of my hand is just really not healthy for me. It's really not healthy for me. And so I have to take a step back. I have to take a step back and implement some boundaries and allow myself to just like truly live in the moment without having to create something from it, you know, content or a message or podcast. I can integrate it into my books and my characters and their life existence, the things that I want to write in the future. But again, that's like kind of behind closed doors. Like it's to be mine until I'm ready to share it with the world. And so, yeah, that's where I am. That's what I'm doing. Summer was good and busy and chaotic, and there was a lot of really big things shifting internally. And so, yeah, I hope that you guys find your way and that you feel my love, and that if we run into each other out in the wild, that it's a beautiful experience and it's a beautiful exchange. Because, yeah, that's what life is meant to be. That's what this whole experience is meant to be. So make really good choices for you and your family, and be kind to yourself and others. And remember that this life is precious, that you are precious, that we can only control ourselves. We can only control the actions that we take and the intentions that we set. You don't have to do so much. You don't have to put so much pressure on yourself. It's all going to be okay. Drink a really good cup of coffee. Say good morning to the sun. Put your bare feet on the grass. I don't know. Make love. Make art. Make money. Find some joy. I love you, and I'll be seeing you. Bye, friends.